everybody, and welcome to Skateboard Nation. For those of you that are following us on YouTube, thank you very much, and make sure you hit your subscribe button and your like button. Tonight, we have a special guest, man, all the way from New Zealand, Mr. Dave Crabb. And
how's it going?
God, man, you've been skating like 50 years now. Pretty
close.
I think
48,
it's like
yeah.
48. I was gonna say. I was like doing the math. Okay, long time, man, and you have been killing it for the whole time. Still skating actively. Lots of injuries to prove that still to this day.
You get that. But I love it, so it doesn't matter. So I mean, it's just, I don't know. I loved it when I started, and you know, when you do something all your life or whatever, like you don't want to quit. It's like your happy high. You know, my wife always tells me, you know, go skate, you're miserable. And then I come back happy. So, you know, so it's all good. So I still skate like a lot. Yeah, I love it.
Couple times a week?
Oh, easy. Like try and do 3 times a week. But, you know, wintertime, sometimes we get a lot more rain than you guys do. So we miss out a week here and a week there. But yeah, so a minimum to 2 to 3 times a week.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's go back, as we've got a lot of pictures of you today. All right. So anyway, Dave, this picture right here is basically reminds me of when I first met you. And that was out at the beach in PB. Well, okay,
yeah.
Minus Oasis time, but when I first really got to know you, we became good friends. Yeah, that was down in Pacific Beach. And man, there was a group
yeah.
of all skaters. I think everybody pretty much skated, but maybe 1 or 2 guys, or if not, they were in the industry or had something to do with something. But anyway, super good times. But I wanted to put that photo up because, you know, you're like the happiest guy I've ever met in my life. I've never, ever seen you lose it, get mad, no matter what happens. If somebody hit your car, it was always, oh, it's okay. You know, and that's just amazing to me. Anyway, so yeah, that was back then. And I don't remember even, like, I think we skated a few times, actually, maybe Andy's ramp or something back during that time, because I was still skating quite a bit because I was working at 8th Street then.
Yeah, that's right.
And those guys were always pushing me to skate and learn new tricks for the video.
There you go. That's a Tony Mag thing. Yeah.
Actually, it was more Mike Ternanski.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, if you want to get in this video, you got to learn 540s." And every time I made 3 540s, and all 3 540s were never filmed. They were changing batteries, changing videotape. It was something, man. And I just like But anyway, so I've got no proof of myself making those tricks, but I did do it at Andy's, and I don't care. I'm still stoked that I pulled it off. But,
yeah, Andy's was the best ramp ever. Like, man, the amount of hours we spent there. Like, basically, Tony and I skated there every single day. Every day. You know, there was always other people, but pretty much guaranteed Tony, Andy, and myself, like, every single day.
Yep. Yeah, those were just amazing times.
Yeah,
man.
His parents were so cool to us. You know, they'd water us and feed us and look after us and everything. I mean, we spent hours there. Like it was our training ground. We just practiced and skated. And also, it was a great ramp for that time.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was big for those days. Yes. You know, it was probably 6 inches bigger than all the other ramps and stuff. And you could go high on it, and it was fast. You know, so yeah, good times at Andy's ramp.
Yeah, I never, I felt really bad because I was the only one that ever broke a window. I don't know what I did, but I remember shooting the board out and went toward the house. I went, oh no. And then boom, right through Andy's sister's window. Yeah, not a good thing. But anyway, yeah, during that time, you know, there was Del Mar still, or
Del Mar was still,
yeah, it was like the end of Del Mar time right then.
Because, I mean, Del Mar was that window of life that was just irreplaceable. It was just like I was a little kid who came out from New Zealand. I mean, the first time I met you, I was 15 years of age. I came out from New Zealand. I have like I had an uncle and an aunt that lived in America. And I came and stayed with them. And my uncle was working like 2 blocks from Oasis Skate Park. And for my 3-week holiday in America, he would drop me at the skate park at 8:45 in the morning and pick me up at 5:15 at night. So that was my 3-week holiday in America, skating Oasis 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, and it was so good. Like, you know, I remember you came and I was just, oh shit, that's that guy from the magazine. And you rode my board, you know. and you're all, oh, what kind of board's that? I'm all, it's an Edward skateboard. It's a New Zealand brand.
That's
and
right.
you jumped on it and you had a ride and you taught it tricks, which was pretty cool because, you know, it didn't know how to do airs back then and stuff. So, and the only complaint you had was it was a bit slow. And I was like, oh, you know, like little kid pouty face.
Yeah.
And you're all, I got some new wheels, I'll give you them, you know. And then you went off and played pinball and hung out. And I thought, oh, you forgot, you know. And then you came back like 20 minutes later with a brand new set of gyros. And I went back to New Zealand, and I was the shit. Oh, my God. I had these fast, cool American wheels, you know, and I was all, yeah. And you know what? That 3-week trip in America changed my skating. Like, I went back and I had balls, you know. Like, because you come here and people are doing, like, ripping. So you realize that you can rip, and that's the norm. You know, I went back and I rolled into a 14-foot bowl, you know, and damn, didn't do that before I left, you know. And it was just great because we only had Skatopia, and it was concrete, you know, but it didn't have the pool coping, and it didn't have all that kind of stuff. So it was a game changer. So good times.
Yeah, well, Skatopia, just so you guys know, I do have a photo of Skatopia. The half pipe is similar to the one that we had here.
Yeah.
Except for yours was bigger, I noticed.
Yeah,
it was
I
deeper.
think when they were building ours, like it rained for like a week.
Yeah.
And like right when they were ready to concrete it, which basically if you're a builder, you kind of realize it just went to shit. And so they pulled all the steel out and they dug it like 2 feet deeper to get rid of all the crappy soil and the dirt and everything. Yeah, because it was just like mud. So like then they just reshaped it and concreted it, so it ended up being like, you know, like it had a full wall. It went up to like 5 feet of vert and then into a big bowl.
Wow.
It was such a good place. Like we had the Edward skateboard team, and there's, you know, and Peter Boronsky used to skate there, and he was the first kind of New Zealand ruler. And he did come to America. He a surfer dude, you know.
Wait, what was his name?
Peter Boronsky.
Peter Boronsky.
Yeah, he was rad. He used to do like these cool frontside airs, you know. And then Chris Stropel came to do a demo.
Okay.
And so he hung out with us, and we were skating with Chris and everything. He did these lock arm inverts and the thing, and, you know, literally 3 days after he left, we're all doing inverts, you know, bam, 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 new trick, new trick. So, you know, Skatopia days was so good, eh? It was like, I used to skate like 2 miles to the bus station. I'd catch a bus from my house at like 7 a.m. to downtown Auckland. Then you skate like half a mile downtown. Then you catch another bus to Skatopia, which was, you know, way out there. You'd skate until 5 or 6 at night and then catch all the buses and skate all the way home. And that was your summer holidays. You know?
Wow.
So, you know, so many hours and so much fun.
Were there many parks down there? Down in New Zealand? Was it just the one? Or?
There was a lot of parks, but, you know, they were like, I guess they were just like, you know, we used to call them concrete waves.
Okay.
So they had angle on them and stuff like that. I mean, the very first park, you know, they're like, we used to just go and do kick turns on the bank. So, you know, I mean, that was back in barefoot days, and, you know, you hit a rock and you died, you know, like your skateboard was shit, you know. And then, like, I remember, like, you know, we get like skateboard magazines. You had a subscription to it, and it would arrive in the letterbox, and you were so excited you would read it at the letterbox. You wouldn't even go home. You just sit there and read it, you know. And then my first American skateboard I ordered from like Val Surf, because they had that mail order thing.
Yeah, of course.
And I got a Wayne Brown double kicktail with Excalibur trucks and roller sport racing slicks.
How long did it take you to get your board?
It took like a couple of weeks to come.
Because I was living in Japan and I used Val Surf.
Yeah.
And I got a Jerry Valdez board and it took like 3 weeks to get it.
Yeah, it was just so cool. I remember, like, you know, I had an American skateboard, you know, and you'd fall asleep at night and then you'd wake up like at 11 o'clock and you go, still there? You know, so like those days were exciting. Those days were fun, you know, those were the real grassroots, you know, and yeah, and, you know, America was a whole different level from us.
Well, I remember Edwards. He had a distribution company down there, and I think a store as well.
Yeah,
or it was one of the same. Or,
a whole bunch of stores. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he was he did a lot of business.
Yeah, he was so good to us. Like, you know, they sent us to Australia to do demos and stuff. And I guess in the big picture, you know, we were probably kind of turned pro when we were 13, because we used to do shows at the Easter show. We get $10 a show, you know. You know, we were doing 2 shows a day for like 4 days, and when you're 13, you get like $20 a day for riding your skateboard. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, Frank Edwards, 10 points. You did good.
Good for you, Frank.
Yeah, it was
no,
right.
he was such a nice guy. I have no idea. Is it still in business now? Is it still going?
You know, I actually think he got out of it and kind of went and did his own thing. But like probably maybe 2 years ago, I think he bought, back his companies and has actually started it all up again. And he still makes skateboards and he's still around.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think he owned a ton of property too, right on the beach.
Yeah, I'm not too sure of that. We were little kids, and he was a man.
No, I just
he used to give
remember
us free skateboards.
I just remember talking about it, and he did. I do remember that he owned I think it was like miles.
Oh yeah.
He owned a lot of property. Yeah, I just remember that because he always was like, "I'm going to sell that one day, or I'm going to sell a portion of it."
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, he did. Definitely did.
He did all right.
All right. So in the early days of skating, you skated pretty much everything.
Yeah. Well, I guess when we all started skateboarding, we were skateboarders.
Yeah.
And I guess skateboard contest was really a gathering of skateboarders. You'd see all your friends there. So we did freestyle, we did slalom, we did bull riding, we did, whatever. We did cross country races through the skate park.
Mm-hmm.
It was all races and times and then they eventually started having, ramp and bowl contests, but most of them were, high jump, did high jump and everything, pretty much.
That's amazing.
Apart from slalom, I pretty much was kind of into slalom. I loved it, and I raced slalom around the world and, got a pretty good batting average, I guess you guys would call it. I used to have an X-stick and I used to have plastic trackers. They were so light, and you take the top washer off, you get the flex. And I actually rode a pair of orange OJs and, bank slalom and tight slalom and even giant slalom. I did pretty good. I had one really big race when I came to America when I was little. I guess it was bank slalom at Upland Skate Park.
Yeah.
And it was a pro-am. And so we all got to kind of skate together. Or maybe they were separate, but the same day, the same course, the same thing. And I won the amateur thing. And I think Steve Olson, I don't know if he won it or not, but I won a Steve Olson board. Yeah. And my time was probably I think might have been second fastest or something. So he signed the board and he wrote on it, "You pretty much beat most of the pros." And I've still got that board today on my wall. Yeah. So it's a brand new Steve Olson skateboard. So it's pretty cool.
That's all. Was it one of his
the white one that almost had like fluorescent paint that you just went splattered on it, and SOS.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. And it had the cutaway on it.
That's one of the very first.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Wow.
And I remember Larry Balmer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so those guys were so nice to me, And I went up to him and kind of the America and New Zealand language thing, they don't always kind of match up. And I was asking him for some rubbers.
Right, okay.
And he's kind of looking at me. You're kind of like a little kid, And I'm all like, yeah, well, I want the soft ones, And him and Laura or something, they were laughing their heads off. Yeah. And I just didn't get it, And I guess, I guess the Americans got it.
Okay. So for the record, when you're talking about rubbers, you're talking about the bushings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Rubber bushings.
I just want to make sure everybody is understanding, what that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay. How do you say it nicely? But anyway, no, that's cool. That's a good story. But yeah, I knew you were a super slalom guy, and I know you're still slalom. You can still get on a board right now and pretty much take out the majority of everybody. I have one too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I have one in my garage still.
I used to race a Hester for a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah, the GNS boards, they were good.
Yeah?
But I kind of like the X-Stick. It was pretty hard to beat.
Huh. Well, they had a mystique on them when they came out, because it was the Badlands board.
Yeah, mine was like the foam core one, that was kind of fat, thin around the sides.
Was it tiered? It had that tail on it?
It had kind of a nose, and then it went wider, and then back to little cutaway nose, cutaway tail.
That's what mine is too, but mine's wood.
Oh, and really?
Mine's wood fiberglass, and
mine's foam fiberglass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of camber in it as well.
Camber, yeah,
it's got the camber on it, and I skated Del Mar, and that was my one bank slalom that I entered, and I got 17th out of I don't know, 14 people. So
Yeah, I think I had a few of them too. You know,
they said I didn't do good enough to even qualify. I was like, dang it, man! I was practicing like 3 runs.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
good times though.
that was a lot of fun, no doubt. Yeah, I just wanted to point out, like, you know, I wish even right now you'd go out and get into a slalom event. And
Yeah, unfortunately, they're all in America or Europe, and
yeah,
I kind of live on the other end of the planet. But,
right.
Yeah, it's too bad you're not here Saturday.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's an event in Vista on Saturday.
Oh really? Wow. Well,
I know.
next time.
You fly over here from New Zealand. You're here for 4 days,
Yeah.
and then you're flying back.
Yeah.
That's 2 days of flights.
No, it's not. It's a night flight. You go to work all day. You go to the airport at night. You get on a plane. You have a beer. You watch a movie. Have a Scooby snack. You go to sleep for 8 hours. You wake up and you get off, and it's daytime here, and you go play.
Is that right?
And you know, I'm gonna catch a plane back tomorrow night, and arrive at 6:30 in the morning. I'm gonna go to work at 7. And it's just another day.
Wow.
You slept on the plane instead of at home. Yeah.
I thought it was a longer flight.
Well, it is.
Oh,
It's
it's a
all night
long
long.
flight.
I thought it was a long. I said that was a
What
longer
is it?
flight,
Is it
but
14 for you?
13 hours back and 12 hours here, I think.
Yeah, because you catch
okay.
the
Yeah.
jet. I used to fly from Japan
Okay.
back and
Yeah.
forth. I understand.
okay. So, like you said earlier, you know, you're more of an all-around skater. You skated everything. You did a little bit of street skating as well.
Yeah, actually, I turned pro for street skating. I guess Kryptonics and Brand X kind of like approached me, and I kind of had Alan Losey and some other riders or whatever, and so they wanted me to turn pro for street skating, even though I skated street and vert, you know. But I guess I kind of did pretty good in street contests, and you know, I was kind of middle of the road on the vert contests, you know. So that was kind of early vert days. We just kind of come from Del Mar, and we kind of noticed that, you know, some of the guys from NorCal and everything, they were way better on ramps than we were, because we just, you know, we had lines, and lines weren't the same on a ramp, so they had tricks.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so street skating, I lived at Mission Beach, and we had Curb City and, you know, jump ramp, and I used to do all those castle contests, and, you know, and they just had like little street courses, so, you know, all that stuff was pretty, you know, easy to get into the jump ramp thing, because we did the Hamels demos, Big Wednesday, you know, every day at Mission Beach, Curb City. And of course, you know, you used to do the little 360s over the car, and you'd push down the alleyway of 200 kids, you know, and then the alley would close behind you so they could all see you go off the jump ramp. And you probably grabbed like 3 feet before the ramp. But it was fun. As you know, loved it.
Yeah, that was during the launch ramp like movement. I mean,
the launch ramp movement was the best movement ever for pro skateboarding, because the amount of people that broke their tails made us a lot of money. Thank you, jump ramps. You know, if you were a pro and you were selling like a couple hundred boards a month, then jump ramp theory, it went up like a couple hundred boards a month.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Think about that.
Yeah, you know, and then with all the little kids doing jump ramps, you know, we had mini models.
Okay.
So, you know, it was great. Jump ramp.
I forgot all about that.
Oh, jump ramps were the best era for pro royalties.
Yeah, didn't even think about how many boards I remember people breaking all the time on those.
People used to go up jump ramps and land like, you know, that.
We need to start that back up again.
Yeah.
You want skateboard to start turning, start moving again. We need to do a launch ramp thing. Street plants were okay, but you know, the launch ramps. Yeah, there's a lot of boards that got broken during that time. That's funny. I just never even thought about that.
Oh yeah, it made a difference.
Yeah, definitely make a difference. Okay, well, all right. So was Brandex and Losey had Kryptonics turned you pro?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bo Brown was my team manager back then, so he was the one that actually did it.
Good.
And I used to race Bo, and you know, he was a friend of mine as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. Bo's everybody's friend.
Yeah,
he's a super good guy. He's another one. You know, there's
but before Brand X, I had a couple of boards on Uncle Wiggly.
Yes.
Because Uncle Wiggly was the beginning of my American dream, you know? Like, that's going days, you know?
Yeah. I was going to say, Uncle Wiggly, that was I wanted to use that photo because that was your first board.
That was pretty much it, you know? And that was the college kids board, you know? It had the Corona label graphic kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that board did really well. And I love that board, you know, because of course it was my first board and I had my name on it, you know. And I was a little kid from New Zealand, and Uncle Wiggily was rad. They had the raddest team. Like, I mean, I know, you know, people, they were like the little toy company. Like, we went to skate Cedar Crest, and, you know, like 3 of us, Reese Simpson, myself, a couple of others maybe, like, they had a good team, and Uncle Wiggily didn't have any money to sponsor us to get to the East Coast, so they gave us like 20 boards each. And we would go from here to Arizona, and we skate the ramp and sell 2 boards. And that took us to Texas, you know, and then we'd eat and we'd sell 2 more boards, you know. And then we go from Texas to, you know, some other ramp. We were just doing a couch trip across America, selling skateboards for fuel and food, you know. Wow. And then there was like 3 or 4 of us, so we had like 60 boards or something in the car, you know, $25 each.
Wow.
And yeah, Uncle Wiggily boards were kind of rad. So, you know, everybody wanted them where we went and stuff. So we made it all the way to Cedar Crest, stayed with Mike Mapp, and just had, you know, the raddest time, and then sold boards to drive all the way back.
You know, that's just amazing, because, you know, a lot of people don't know that kind of history. Pros today have no idea. You know what I mean? As far as
all you needed, like, if you went to a skateboard ramp anywhere in America back then, you had a place to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah, you know, they weren't always great, but they were always friendly and happy. And, you know, it's just, vert skating scene was alive, and so many backyard ramps and so much good times, you know, like, and of course, who wouldn't want to skate with people from Texas and people from California and people from Florida, you know, and just meeting and skating and staying with those guys across America. I mean, it was as good as it got. It was fun.
Yeah. I just remember, like you said, like when I went to Texas on tour, like, you know, I mean, I got to skate with like most amazing people, all new, totally different tricks.
Yeah.
So when you went in there, you were like, wait, what is that? You know,
what do you
like,
mean you guys don't do backside bonuses, but you do that front side thing? Oh, okay, that's cool. We're all going to learn that now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I always found it really, really cool. Like, for me, it was like when Fulmer came over. Yeah. You know, Mike Fulmer and Mike McGill, you know, like the layback air. Like, what the heck is that? You know, Fulmer and all his, you know, he had so many like different lip tricks and stuff that he brought in, you know. And
yeah, he used to do like the first pretty much frontside lip slides. Hey,
exactly.
Grab the tail and bring it in.
And bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Fulmer. And I was always like, so when I went on tour, I always saw like, you know, when I remember seeing the first time I saw an ollie. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck was that? Do it again, you know, like I was hyped.
Yeah, I mean, because that was like, I mean, maybe people don't quite get it, but that was way before cell phones, way before YouTube, way before internet, you know.
8mm film.
Yeah, 8mm film that if you couldn't borrow money from your parents to develop, never made it past there. So, you know, it was, I mean, like, it was like seeing stuff all for the first time. That's why everybody learned all those tricks, because those guys had tricks and we had tricks and they had tricks. And it was all those road trips and all the contests that brought all the tricks together.
It was funny because, you know, now I'm just thinking back, and like when we traveled, I remember like driving myself to Arizona. Yeah. And, you know, you get there, it was the day before the contest, didn't even think about practicing, got there at night on a Friday and watched virtually the first, you know, hour, because you just like got there from your car and you're just kind of like wired because you just drove 6 hours, you know, and then it was like, oh, we're going to sleep in the bowl tonight, you know, and there's like already 9 guys that are already in the bowl. And you couldn't sleep. So I remember like going in my car and sleeping in my car that night. And yeah, next day was a contest. You try and skate it. But I mean, like every time it was always like, I mean, I saw that with Jamie Thomas too. Jamie Thomas one time ran into him and, you know, he was sleeping in the bowl. And I was just like, oh my God, man, that's awesome. You know, I told her, I remember that. And then people were like, no, Jamie, you can't do that. Come stay at our hotel. Yeah. But anyway, it's such a different time.
Yeah, it was rad those times. I mean, I remember going to Billy Ruff, was the ruler. And he bought a brand new, well, it wasn't a brand new Porsche, but it was a brand new Porsche to him. Yeah. And Jamie Malsberg, myself, someone else, like 4 of us were going to Arizona for, you know, a demo or a contest or something. And we're kind of leaving, and he's all like, oh, I think the bar closed at 12 o'clock. And, you know, kind of worked it out, you know, looking at the miles to go. We're going to get there at like 12:35 or something. So, you know, we kind of went from 70 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. Then we're all, okay, we're going to get there at like 12:05, you know. So we went from 80 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, you know. Now we're going to get there at like 10:02. So we went from 90 to 100, you know. This Porsche is just doing its inaugural trip, you know, to Arizona. And then we get there at like 11:30, and Billy Ruff, like I said, was a ruler. Yeah. He was like pretty cool, you know. He had all the toys and all. So he pulls out his new credit card and he's all, let's catch up, you know. And all of a sudden we got like 15 minutes to catch up with everyone. So, and I think we might have caught up and we might have even passed him, you know. But yeah, so I definitely think we lived in the non-professional era of skateboarding.
Yeah. No, that was
not a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, but some damn good times, though, you know. Yeah. And then we slept on couches. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, there were some really, really amazing times and days back then. Okay, so anyway, where did you already talked about Texas and going places. Where were you doing tours and at that time, and with whom? You know, I know you rode for Gullwing, you had a lot of sponsors.
Gullwing, Life's a Beach, Bad Boy Club.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were cool. Those guys, you know, that was a clothing sponsor or whatever. Yeah. And, you know, they did some shows. And, you know, they invited Clint Eastwood and everything, a black and white tie event, you know, and all the team. And Mike Mullally and I were jumping a car. You know, and that was pretty cool. And, you know, all the high society and all our partners and everything, all, you know, white tablecloths and suits and stuff. And then we did a fashion show and, you know, John Gibson and myself, you know, Craig Johnson, you know, not exactly like catwalk people, but they had real models as well. And then we did that demo on that ramp. It was all painted. And it was crazy because it was kind of like dark. And, Bill Danforth was there. Bill Danforth, Craig Johnson. And it was fun. Jamie Mousberg. And we did doubles and everything on that ramp, you know. It was like a dinner party.
Was this in Houston?
No, this one was in at Life's a Beach.
Okay. Okay, here.
So, yeah.
You skated the S&P ramp.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's where we met.
Yeah, that's right.
The S&P ramp, because I was tight with AA and I'll go with that.
Yeah, but we used to do the NSA contest kind of took you back and forth across America to, you know, all the states. Like I was a head judge and announcer or whatever for the NSA for the amateur series.
With Sonia?
Yeah, with Sonia.
Okay, with Sonia.
Sonia and I were miles together, you know.
Okay.
And Tim Payne and I used to build a lot of the ramps and stuff. So I used to be kind of involved in that. And then that was when I was an amateur. I was doing the pro contests. And then when I turned pro, I still did the amateur ones. So, you know, there's a lot of travel in that. But then when we went on tour, like, you know, for Brand X, and then Brand X kind of got bought out or whatever, you know, like by Dorsey.
Right.
And did the Toxic thing, which was awesome. Like, I mean, couldn't have had a better sponsor on the planet. You know, probably not the biggest name brand, but probably the best person. And they own one of the largest distributors for Europe and America, you know. So I used to go to Europe a lot. And every time I'd do a contest in Europe, you know, they would tag on like 10 demos or shop appearances, you know, up and down England or throughout Germany and everything. And, you know, when you go to those places, like those people take such good care of you. And it's just fun, you know. And I did a demo in Germany for these guys who had a skate shop. They didn't have any money, so he offered me his girlfriend. And I'm just thinking, Germans are crazy, you know? Like, no way, you know? But, I mean, they were just so excited to have you there. It was whatever it took, you know?
I saw that happen, too. Yeah. It happened in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy offered a girlfriend. You're like...
For a demo.
For a demo, man.
Shop signing and stuff.
Couldn't believe it.
It was so good. I mean, the kids back then were crazy and into it. And the amount of stickers we had from, you know, like stickers were like gold, eh? Yeah. We lived in Mira Mesa and we had a skate house. Like, I think Reese Simpson lived there. Don Pollard lived there. Maybe Stedham for a while in the end. Billy Ruff for a short time. Alan Losey was there.
Wow.
Used to park the DeLorean in the front yard. You know? And but we had so many stickers. There was these girls down the street whose brother skateboarded. These girls would come and clean our house for stickers.
Oh, wow.
And then they would go home. Oh, and they could get little brother and his friends to do anything in the world, you know. So stickers were like currency back then. Yeah. So, but yeah, we did a lot of touring through Europe. I mean, we were regulars there, and also you know, they had those contests in Australia once a year.
Yeah.
So I used to go down to that, and then I'd try and do New Zealand, which is kind of like going home, you know, on the way to Australia. So we did, you know, demos up and down there that were all organized by sponsors and stuff.
Okay. Like,
So I managed to do a few laps of the planet, you know, with my wooden toy.
did you ever get over to like Asia and
No,
Japan?
I mean, it was pretty early days. Like, I mean, the 80s were, you know, we kind of went to first world countries of concrete. And like in Indonesia and Japan and that, they weren't really, they were getting into it. But I guess our sponsors didn't really send us there for demos and stuff because I think it was probably about 3 years too early, you know?
Okay. I was just wondering because, I mean, Japan was a huge market
Yeah.
back then, too.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if Dorsey or, I mean, I know Kryptonics has been selling those guys forever.
Yeah, probably.
So,
But,
yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, no, that's amazing. Okay, well, I know there's a couple ads, you know, we put in, it's like, I mean, you have so many pictures, you know, like, where was this from? This
one's in Linda Vista.
Oh, this is Linda Vista.
Yeah.
I can't see the ramp or anything by it.
No, I know.
But I remember skating there with you.
I think that's the same day my poster was shot, and it's almost debatable that that could be a different angle of my poster shot, my Gullwing poster, because that's a Gullwing photographer on the deck, you know. And
Who is that? Do you remember?
yeah, I do, but I can't. Sorry, I just can't think who it is.
Is it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that like, yeah, same helmet, same shorts, black shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it is actually that photo, like, you know, his photo, and this one's actually taken by Matt Splatt, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, you know, he was kind of
That's wild.
sitting down there, so I'm pretty sure that's the same photo of the same air. And pretty stoked on that poster because it was a big air. You know, I love that ramp. It was only there for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that was a really fun ramp.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was an elliptical transition ramp. There's old Mission Beach.
Yeah.
You know, the boardwalk wall at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the time.
And that's Henry's ramp, which is one of the skaters that lived out by Gullwing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
my
Henry's
gosh.
ramp.
That was in
And,
Lakeside.
That's, I think it was a, yeah.
I'm still friends with Henry. In fact,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still talk to him. He's living in Arizona. But the Gullwing team manager lived right up this,
that's
like
why
the
all the
driveway.
Gullwing guys used to
Okay,
skate there.
yeah.
Oh, I went to his house and
Steve
you know,
Clare skated there a whole
yeah,
bunch
exactly.
too.
So
Yeah.
I think Steve Clare might even have been on the platform.
Yeah,
But I
might have
remember,
been.
like, you know, that was pretty early days when I was in America. Went to his house, and like his mother gave us bacon, like for breakfast or something. And I thought, these guys are rich. You know, it was like a big deal.
All right.
That's
So
street contest in San Francisco.
street contest.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they ran it for an ad, or was that just?
No, and that's yeah, it is an ad. That's no comply over the spine ramp or whatever. But because I got the cover of Power Edge, and then of course Dorsey bought the rear cover, so then I had the cover and the rear cover of the same issue, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that didn't happen too often.
Because
Actually,
that's on
with
that
anybody.
really gnarly over vert wall thing, which was so hard to ride.
Where was that at?
I'm not sure. I just remember that it was just like over vert and so hard to like actually make the top.
Amazing. Well, just the fact that you got a cover is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wish I had the back cover of it. I wish I didn't know what picture it was.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I would love to have had that because that's history right there. Because nobody gets that.
No, I think
Nobody
they bought
gets-
the back cover though.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just
Look
to
at
have
that.
both
Del Mar.
covers. You know. Yeah. That's
Man.
Del Mar. That's
Those are the days. I mean,
well, you know, that's early.
That's
like
early
80
Del Mar.
right there because or
that's-
81
yeah, I was
because
gonna say maybe
It's
82,
like the deck
83.
just got laid.
no, it doesn't even look like there's a deck on there.
Oh, there is.
Is there a deck there?
Yeah, because if you look right here,
It looks like
you
it
see
falls
somebody
off.
standing.
Yeah, but there was a deck over there. But the rest of it around the pool coping, there was nothing.
Yeah, I think it might. I think it might be more like late '83 or something.
Okay, so then there
But,
was the deck.
Yeah, that one's probably earlier because yeah,
Because there's no deck there. You can see that there's no deck, right? Am I just missing it? Anyway,
Rad. Remember those pants like rad pants or mad rats or something?
no,
They had
those
all that hip pads in them and stuff.
no, those were the rad.
Yeah, those were the
or-
rector ones. Eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the one before might have been that. Yeah.
I still have mine.
All right. Yeah, man. And that one there, that's really old. That's like 81 or something in Vancouver, Canada, in the bowl in Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver always had, they've always had their contests up there every year.
Yeah, I lived in Vancouver like for 2 years.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What year was that?
80, 81, 82.
Really?
And then I went back to New Zealand and got kind of bored and then came back to America.
Okay. Now, here's a fun picture. We get a little history here on Dave. This was a freestyle.
Yeah.
You were big in freestyle. Very respected.
It's pretty funny. So they had the World Games, the 1986 World Games, and I was on Team America. And, you know, even got a uniform and everything. And I thought, damn, this is pretty cool, you know. And then I got kicked off Team America because an American complained that I wasn't American. Which I guess I was really upset at the time, but it's kind of fair because, yeah, actually they're right. Yeah. And so I formed like Team New Zealand. And so I had a one-man team. And when you do, you know, you walk around the arena with all the flags for the opening ceremony. Yeah. I was like, everybody had there was like 12 countries and they all had like 6 to 10 team riders. And I had one. So Chris Miller felt sorry for me. So me and Chris Miller are walking around with the flag, you know. Oh, yeah, me and Miller, you know, and it was cool. And then, so what I did was I thought, stuff it. I'm going to enter everything. Yeah. So there was like, I think 12 or 14 countries and they all had teams of 6. So I entered every single event and my country came 6th overall. And Lester Kasai and I, like freestyle was a joke, but I did it anyway. Yeah. And Lester Kasai and I entered 360s. And the winner did 86, a guy called Vic Lig or something from Canada. And they had those wheels they had laid down and, you know, their trucks were rock tight and they had special spinning boards and everything. I think Lester maybe did 3.5 and I did 3 1/4.
I got third place?
You got third.
No. We came like, there was a lot of people in the 30s and 40s, you know, and Kevin Harris, he was probably up there in the 40s and 50s, you know, because he did like 1,072 two-board 360s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Daffy.
Yeah, he had the Daffy 360. Yeah. So, I mean, that was purely just like fun and happiness. And you're there and like, you know, I only really went to do the slalom and skate the ramp. But, you know, they were like the last 2 days. So, did everything.
Well, 3.5, I think, was about my record on 360s. So
yeah, Jim Gray's been working on that. He's like up there in the 7 and 8s now.
He's at like 13s now.
Oh, wow.
He's pushing it.
Yeah.
He's got a coach, though.
Oh.
Dale Smith's coaching him.
Oh, is that right? Dale Smith was a sponsor of mine for years and years with Smith pads.
With Smith pads.
So good to me. Like, I actually still ride Smith knee gaskets.
Yeah. I still have mine too.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I mean, obviously I wore Smith pads and stuff, you know, but you got those old shots, you know, you had the palm pad gloves, you know, the fingers cut off, the Smith pads and stuff. I don't know, it was just great.
All right, well, did you enter any other freestyle contests ever, or just?
Oh, yeah, in New Zealand, like, you know, because, you did. I mean, you know, New Zealand Nationals and stuff like that way back, like in the 70s, you know, probably 76 to maybe 78, 79, did all the freestyle and slalom contests in New Zealand and New Zealand Nationals and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but once, you know, kind of bowl skating and vert skating, or we had a place to skate, I was kind of over the freestyle thing. And then, you know, of course, people got into it and they ripped. And, you know, and obviously Rodney and everybody invented tricks that, you know, everybody took, you know, from his ollies and his grabs and everything to ramps, to vert, to everything. So, you know, I mean, but I do believe that if you ride a skateboard, you just try everything and do everything. Because the more things you can skate, the more things you can skate. Yeah. You know?
More better time, just better times all the way around. Because I mean, you get stuck somewhere, and it's like, oh, we can go skate that.
I used to play on my driveway, you know, when I was a kid for 4 hours. You know, don't know what I did, Tic Tacs or something, but I was really good at Tic Tacs after, you know, a couple of weeks on the driveway. You know, this is my ramp in the backyard.
Currently,
and you know, it's I've made it bigger and wider and everything, but this is on the extension. It's, you know, 8 foot, goes to vert and stuff, and this was my 50th. This was the day of my 50th birthday. We had a skate session.
There's a lot of people. And Tony Mag did go down there for that.
Yeah, I think I
that
had
was pretty cool.
16 people come from America and maybe a 6-pack from Australia. So we had a couple hundred people, and you know, the DJ made it to light time, and yeah, it was a good time. Like it was a real 50th. But you know, I built a skate ramp in my backyard for 50 because I have a pool. I made a pool in my house for skating in, and then but my birthday's kind of in summer, and because it's a skate ball, it takes kind of like a lot of water to fill it up. So then I built a ramp in the backyard for my birthday purely. But I still got it today, and it's bigger and better, and I still skate it, so it's rad.
Yeah, awesome. And it looks like it's got like a couple feet of vert on one side.
It kind of goes 4 foot,
down.
5 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot.
Okay.
So, you know.
I saw the different levels when I was looking at it. I was like, okay.
It was kind of
looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And that's all it is, you know. Fun. That's a cool shot, the old Hurricane.
Yeah. That's
my backyard ramp right there, yeah.
That's my backyard.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
There
we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like my backyard. But I mean, my ramp's got a cool view. It's got the ocean behind it and stuff. And you know, I also have the house where like heaps of people come and stay and visit and hang out. So you know, when that happens, we have like huge sessions there, and it's got lights and stuff. And you know, in the summertime, you can skate it. You know, like till midnight, 1 in the morning. But in the winter, it starts to get dew on it at 9. So that's my front yard. So that's where I live in New Zealand. And it's gone again.
Nobody wants to
Technical difficulties.
Wait a minute.
There we go.
No.
Yeah. So I'm a hunter-gatherer, so I love the ocean. I live on the ocean, and you know, we never starve. I mean, the water's pretty awesome, and you know, we do a lot of spearfishing and crayfish diving and snorkeling. So yeah, it's a beautiful front yard.
It's a beautiful front yard.
Yeah, it's like a supermarket.
How far down the cliff is it?
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like it's up. Does it have stairs going down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a path, or is it?
It's got a full set of like a zigzag set of stairs path, and then it goes to a little beach, and we got kayaks and stuff down the beach. So
did you have to build that?
I built the stairs
all the way down. Okay.
Yeah, my wife and I did it actually. So it was pretty cool, you know.
It's like we need to get stairs before I get hurt.
Oh no, we did the goat track thing for 5 years, and then it kind of got nicer and better, and then I guess I was 10 years older and it got better, and then I was 10 years older, it got really good. And pretty soon it'll have a binocular, like, so I better go up and down anymore.
Oh, that's awesome, man. No, I mean,
I love it there. It's great.
You've been there for a few years now.
Oh yeah, like I've been on that hill for like 26 years or something.
26, okay. Yeah, because I remember you inviting me out there probably 20 years ago. Like, come on out.
I invite everybody. Hey,
man.
come and stay. It's rad.
I just don't have the time right now, Kids are in school, and it was just pretty hard to get away. But
yeah. I'm not going anywhere, so come on down.
Things are different now, so.
There we go. We're at Claremont Ramp.
Okay. All right. This is, Claremont Skate Park.
Yep.
Yeah. And
so, this is about just before like the COVID thing when you weren't allowed to fly in airplanes or go anyplace. So about 2.5, 3 years ago, I came out to visit Tony. Obviously, Tony Mag and I are great friends. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. But back at Del Mar, I was a guy from New Zealand. He was a guy from Sweden. So we had an instant kind of connection that we just were different from everyone else. We're everyone else had like families and addresses and shit. We were like lost and didn't have that,
Right.
So we hung out a lot, and that's obviously why I skated for Uncle Wiggily, because Tony used to make all the boards and do the Uncle Wiggily thing, and then and we're still great friends today. He's been to see me in New Zealand, and I come out probably once every year or two, and I stay at his house, and him and Monica like take care of me, and that's why I had that 8th Street board, and so this is us having a little photo session at Claremont.
Yeah, that's when they reissued your same board then.
That's correct.
At that same time. Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, so what year did you meet Mag? When was that?
Oh, I would have met him in like 83 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like very beginning days, like at Del Mar. I mean, it was kind of rad. Like when I came to America, I got a job in a restaurant. So I worked, I think 5 at night to 10 at night.
Yeah.
So I go and skate Del Mar every day. Yeah. So the only other people you get there during the day were kind of like pro skaters or people that didn't go to school,
Right.
So obviously Mag was there, skating and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we met him. And then obviously on the weekend, or you'd skate with all the school kids or whatever, which of course was Tony Hawk and John Schultes and, you know, and Dave Swift, and Dave Bador, and, you know, I mean, there was a full crew. There was the best place.
Owen Nieder.
Yeah,
Had to be in there.
Yeah.
Owen, yeah.
Yeah, Owen Nieder's got that rad photo in Grant Britton's book Push.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the full mohawk.
Yeah.
He used to do his inverts and his Andrex.
Oh, yeah.
The stupid places, like right on the hip at the entry. So hard to ride there, you know. And yeah, and then there was Pete Finland and Stedham was a regular, Reese Simpson, the full crew.
Pete just had his birthday on Saturday.
Oh, is that right?
He turned 60.
Rad, he used to do the longest rock and roll slides. I mean, we all were trying to like break 20 blocks because you could have the best line there. You could either do the double car thing or you could roll out, roll in.
Yeah.
And then you could just go do. And yeah, I think Pete Finland might have actually even won with maybe like 23 blocks.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like a block or two.
He had a great ramp in his backyard.
Yeah. So that was just such a good crew there.
Del Mar, 23 blocks was huge.
Oh yeah, it was
huge.
It was, you know, like, I mean, Stedham and myself and Pete and 4 or 5 others. You know, I mean, rock and roll slide was a trick to do. So
yeah.
It was fun, you know. But and then of course they had all the contests there, and then, you know, your Grossos and your Vedges and your Cabs and everyone all come down from NorCal, and of course, you know, half of them stayed at our house. I mean, and you'd sleep in the highball, you know, when you stayed there late.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, everybody did
and
that.
Grant Britton used to like work, you know, the thing, and he'd kind of like, we just skate there for like 8 hours a day, and he'd kind of be all, you know, he'd put announcements over the thing and tell us to go play miniature golf, you know, and come out and there's like 6 little girls playing miniature golf, so we're, hey! I mean, then you played highball, and then you slept in the highballs, and yeah, I mean, Del Mar, you know, and then someone would come across the road from the Del Mar Fair, you'd look at their stamp, and then we'd be licking their hand and transferring it. We'd all be running on the Del Mar Fair and get in there for free, and, you know, you'd see Oingo Boingo or something. And you know.
Billy Idol, like, all those guys played there back then.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
and then,
awesome.
Of course, the Denny's next door, you know.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere at Del Mar was so good. I mean, there was like 30 of us who were locals, so you just always have someone to skate with, and it was always fun.
Yeah.
Training ground for SoCal, I guess.
Yeah. Gresham, do you remember Eric?
Yeah.
Eric was working down there.
Yeah.
In the RC world down there.
Oh, that's right. They had the car thing outside.
They had that RC cars and everything.
He was
down
rad,
there.
man.
Yeah, he still is.
I remember when I came over to Oasis, and I went to a contest. I think it was at Escondido.
Yeah.
Whirling wheels.
Yeah, and the Veriflex team were there, you know, out Gresham, and there was a couple of guys who were brothers, Steve Hirsch.
Yeah, Steve and Mikey.
Yeah, and Losi and stuff, and yourself, and I was thinking, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, I remember that was the only time I skated that park, and that's when I first met Rogalski too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
Time.
He was there.
That was the only time I skated that park one time, and man, that pool was a beast. It was hard to skate.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Me,
I just remember going.
I remember the transitions were like just horrific, and just it was tight, and coping stuck out a mile, and I don't know. Yeah.
You guys had all kinds of cool stuff. We could see them in the magazine. The Big O and this.
Oh yeah,
and that.
yeah. Big O was a really good pool. I mean, the capsule was amazing. The keyhole there was amazing. And I still like the water slide was great too. That came in later.
Yeah,
That's what closed the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody got killed on it. Some kid fell out of it and died, and they just shut the whole thing down, and then they shut the park down right after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that was a real bummer right there. But okay, so we got into travel, contests. Like what other skateboard stuff were we doing back then? I mean, were you doing any designing or anything like that at any point?
We used to make our own shapes and everything like that. Like this one here is the St. Pete Pro, and that's late 80s or whatever. That's on a toxic board, an HP logo on the graphic on the grip tape. Free grip tape from Tony, you know.
Yeah, right. He's gonna put the logo on there.
We lived in my house, and H Street was started in our living room, so you can kind of have a connection there.
That's right.
This one's a bit modern now. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, or something. This is Bowlzilla in New Zealand. It's like one of the biggest contests we have in New Zealand every year.
Is that like
It used to be Bowlerama.
Okay.
And then I guess something happened.
They had it live on the internet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This bowl is the worst bowl ever. It is the kinkiest, lumpiest. But if you skate it enough, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's just the worst first ride bowl ever. But it's like 30 years old, and you know, it's got double king. I think Chad Ford designed it and got it built. And you know, that's pretty rad because it literally is 25 or 30 years old.
Waterfalls in it?
Yeah, two waterfalls, a shallow end, a medium end, and a deep end kind of thing.
Wow.
But it's only like 8 or 9 feet, so like unless you're one of those modern guys that rules,
Right.
it's pretty hard for airs and inverts and stuff. But that's Del Mar, a 1-footed invert.
Yeah, you did those just
Yeah,
about better than anybody.
I had those on demand.
Yeah. You did those. I don't know.
There's another one. That one's a bit newer.
Yeah, I put them together with the
Yeah,
older
yeah.
ones and the newer ones to show that,
Yeah.
you know, you're still out there hucking those things up, even right now.
Yeah, I actually probably haven't done one in about 3 years. I broke my hip when I was 57,
Yeah.
and I haven't done one since then.
Last year.
Yeah,
Last year.
yeah. But I still
Okay.
have a sad plant though.
Right.
But the 1-footed one, it's gone.
I put that one on there just because I
Yeah.
love the board,
Yeah, it's cool.
you know. So,
It's
anyway.
down in Australia, I guess. That one came out of Slam magazine.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that mag.
That was a demo in Australia when I was just kind of traveling across Australia.
Oh, yeah. I love that photo right there, too, just because of it reminds me of you.
Yeah,
You know, just have fun.
yeah. That was a Kryptonics poster that I used to like, make
Hand out,
yeah,
okay.
for like demos and stuff. But that's Andy's
Great
ramp.
job.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Christian Klein.
Did you
or
just
something
like
shot
skate for
that
their
one.
wheels, or did you ever do boards with them?
No,
or
just wheels.
just wheels?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And this is only like about a year and a half ago. This 2 years ago, whatever. That's also Claremont.
Okay.
That's that same photo from a different angle that Tony was shooting, I guess. Chris Click Digital shot that one. That's
Okay.
really good.
Okay. Chris did it. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
He's like the perfect
The personal
photographer.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, lip slide at Andy's.
Yeah, I had to put that in there just because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Andy's, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't imagine how much time we spent skating there during that time.
So cool, hey, because Andy was a 10-year-old kid. You know?
Yeah.
That's Andy's ramp too. Yeah.
Yep. I
Oh,
think
a
about it.
10-year-old kid on this ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he
And he invited us every day. You could have said it was our ramp, but yeah, we skated it every day. So him and his family was so good to all of us, open the door, let us in, feed us, water us, skate. And we just skated with a 10-year-old kid. And he was really good at soccer.
yeah.
He might have even gone on to try out
College.
for the U.S. team or college teams and stuff.
I know he played for college. I mean, Andy just lives down the street here.
Yeah, I know. It's so good. It's so funny when you come back here. Like, I have literally been in a store. I was walking through Encinitas, like, last time I was here, and I just see Chris Miller. Like,
Yeah.
and then, of course, and then I seen someone else somewhere else. You just thought, oh, my God, like, everyone still lives, like, around.
Right.
So the world is like seriously a small place, like if I'm one person and there's 5 million people here and I can visit for 4 days and run into 4 or 5 people I know without organizing it in the street, that's, it's pretty rad.
Just go into their neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's still kind of around. Yeah, because Lou called me, Andy.
Yeah.
He called me and he goes, "Hey, Dave, I just bought a house right down the street from you." And I was like, "Oh, sweet," And he told me, he's like, "Come on by anytime,"
Yeah.
So, I mean, those kind of friendships, lasted forever. And,
Yeah, because, like I said, he was 10 years old, but
I
he
think,
must be 40 or something now.
I think Lou is still, I know he's still working in the industry.
Yeah.
It might not be skate, but it's skate-related clothing or
I
something.
think he
He's
works for a
doing it.
clothing company.
Yeah, I know it's clothing. I just, because he worked for Tony at Osiris forever too,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, Lou's still doing it, and So, what kind of future plans do we have for you? I mean, what are you thinking? Like, what's coming up?
I don't know. Basically, I live in New Zealand now, and I just designed and built a new skate park in my neighborhood. So I kind of have a perfect vert ramp.
Wow.
Which is awesome.
Did you build it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of finicky about the vert ramp things.
Yeah.
My wife and I have a construction company, so we have builders that we build. We specialize in high-end residential, which is pretty rad. Like, we built House of the Year. We've won, Architect of the Year award. We won, magazines. Got like a 6-pack of covers and centerfolds of houses we built. So it's kind of rad. And, currently we're building a house, that's going to go $12 million, and it's on a private beach with a jetty, and it's going to be like stunning and amazing. But when it comes to the ramp, it's kind of my deal, So I wanted to, make the transition, set it all up and stuff, and it's rad, and it's just good. We had another really good vert ramp there that I built like 22 years ago, but I mean, 22 years ago, times have changed. So
that one was like 11 feet. Now they're 13.
Yeah, that's like pretty much it.
Yeah, okay.
And this one's wider, and this one's got skate light on it, and the other one actually had metal on it.
Wow, you had skate light on it.
Yeah,
skate light.
Yeah, this one.
Wow, that's got to be expensive down there.
$350 a sheet.
Yeah, it's got to be expensive down there.
Yeah, and you work out how many sheets are on a vert ramp.
Right, exactly.
But then I built a bowl as well. I mean, I didn't build it. I designed it, and I cut it out, and I put all the steel in, and I made the transitions and everything. But I got Acid Skate Parks. They're skaters, and, they hire some of the best skaters in New Zealand, but they specialize in concrete skate parks. So, like you guys around America do. So it's got that perfect finish on it. Mm-hmm. So saying I built it's a lie. I made it happen.
Okay.
And I built the vert ramp.
Well, that's
those guys.
important.
Those guys did the concrete finishing.
How many parks are in New Zealand now?
There's got to be 100, 200 parks in New Zealand, but
wow.
90% of them are tiny and terrible, and they're all from the 80s, and they're kind of like exposed aggregate, so you want to ride 80 gerometer wheels and you don't want to fall.
So that your contest series happen in skate parks, or are they in arenas?
Most of them, we have pretty much probably three major contests every year. We have Bowlzilla, which is in Wellington, that bowl you've seen. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Mangawai Bowl Jam, which is in a small surf town just north of Auckland. And, Jason Parks built that bowl. And it is probably the only bowl in New Zealand that is really international contest worthy. Oh. I mean, you can go big in it. People can do 5s in it, but it's got lines galore. It's fast. It's beautiful. So we have that one every year. And then my wife and I host a vert contest every year, which is basically everyone that skates vert in New Zealand comes and stays at my house.
Right.
And, we have a barbecue for like 60, 80 people at the end, and then everyone skates the mini ramp till like midnight, and, and then everyone kind of crashes there because, petrol's expensive in New Zealand, and people travel and everything. So, when people kind of, come up, you want to make it worthwhile for them to come up. You want to make it fun. And, the best thing about skateboarding is we all like to hang out. So just bring everyone together and have a big barbecue. And that creates the atmosphere to kind of make everyone want to come back next year, next year, next year. So it's, it's fun.
So who are the next up and comers coming out?
There's New Zealand's kind of funny. I was probably the first New Zealander to jump the gap and come to America. And I was probably one of the only ones that actually stayed in America and lived here. And Lee Ralph followed pretty close after. And he's a ruler. And he just come over here with his crazy big beard and his huge airs and his, happy dominance. And, he was rad. And then Andrew Morrison, there's Lee Ralph there,
Yeah.
He's such a funny guy, Great friend of mine from youth, skated his ramp in his backyard, and, then obviously skated with him when he came out here when he was a big guy. But, he kind of blew the immigration status thing, and he couldn't get back into America.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he kind of, he went back to New Zealand, and there wasn't a scene there that, could kind of put up to what he had just had, or the lifestyle of traveling and skating. And, he got a bit lost, and, a bit worse for wear. And, but, funny thing is, he now just lives 15 minutes down the street from me, and I still catch up with him. I still see him. He does wood carvings for a living. He, kind of like the tiki head you got over there. So he does Maori carvings because his background is Maori. He's got, I think, if you remember when he was skating, he had a big bone carving, so he's kind of into the heritage of New Zealand. And he does a lot of Maori and, Maori heritage carvings, and, that's what he does.
Wow. Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to get him and send him a link to get on the show, too. That would be Awesome. I might have to send it to you.
Yeah, send
give
it
it
to
to
me.
him.
I don't think he does the mobile phone thing, but but yeah, like.
Well,
totally.
I'll call you,
Yeah.
and then you can get him.
Here
and
you go,
we
Lee.
can
Take
do
Hendrix on the
a
phone for you.
15 minutes, only because of the fact that he did that love letters for me.
Yeah.
Right, and I had no idea, and then people were calling me left and right, like, Dave, you got to check this thing out. And then the first time I saw it, I was like, and they were like, yes, Dave Hendrix, a nerd, and I was like, oh man, is this gonna go negative or what, man? And my heart just sank on it, and then I listened to the whole thing. I was like, oh, that was awesome. Like, that was the raddest thing ever.
He's your friend with a beer in his hand.
Yeah, we can actually pull all that in. We can dial you in. We can do your video in. We just have to set up because you're 17 hours in front of us.
Basically, we're 5 hours behind you is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 hours.
So. 5 hours behind you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we can do that.
Yeah.
So when we get back home, we'll try to see if we can set that up.
It's probably not that hard, Might throw you up for, a $50 beer sponsorship because then he'll be happy and chatty.
Okay. Well, then we'll do that.
Yeah, he's a character, He's got a heart like a whale. He's a good bugger. He's my friend, and I'm proud of that. But yeah, he lost his way a bit, and I got a bit beaten up around the edges. But he's still that guy that once he's had a few drinks, he's the you man. Like then he goes down memory lane, and you laugh pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. Like I said, I know I skated with him a couple different times. And every time it was always interesting. It was always a lot of laughing going on, and a lot of like, wow, that was fucking rad, know.
Yeah. And then after Lee Ralph came Andrew Morrison.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Andrew Morrison is probably the best skater to come out of New Zealand. He's like New Zealand's Chris Miller. He's got the killer style. He's got the bag of tricks, and he rips. But he actually didn't stay in America. He only hung out here for, a short window of time. And then he had a life for, back in New Zealand. So he kind of went back to New Zealand and continued to absolutely rip. And now, he's probably 52, 53. Still a good friend of mine. Still skate with him all the time. And he still rips.
Yeah.
He's kind of gone from the vert thing to the pool thing. But he draws lines and, and his first run is just, the 15 grinds and all the places you can't get to on the hip and over there, and, which is really annoying when you're just thinking, damn, that's your warm-up run, and I'm pretty much
all kicked out.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. He goes in on the shallow end and grinds around the hip and comes in on the deep end, which if you mess up, you just free fall to death. And no, so those would be the three skaters. Myself, Lee Ralph, and Andrew Morrison, who probably made it in the international thing. After that, there kind of was a couple of skaters, Bowman Hansen and Sean Boucher. They're now in their late 20s and probably, can't really see them compete anymore, but those guys are good. They're like super good. I mean, Bowman Hansen is just the funnest skater to watch skate. Like, I've seen him on my mini ramp in the backyard, him and Tom, and they have just, starts off with 9 people skating, then 7, then 6, then 5, then 2. And, then everyone's sitting down having a beer and, just watching them. And then, they start putting chairs on the platform and blunts off of the handrails and then blunts to fakies and then switch blunts to fakies and then shove it blunt to fakie to switch, And, it gets like 9:30 at night and there's just no tricks left in the world. And you just go like, wow, that was awesome. And when he rides, Mangawai, he's the guy that does the front blunt on the hip, and he rides the kink thing and the dorky thing, and so those guys were rulers. But unfortunately, skateboarding's a bit different, and it's pretty hard to, because they don't have, like New Zealand backing, because we have no sponsorship in New Zealand because we got no industry.
You got to get Edwards back.
We
got to get Edwards back.
Just got a couple of distributors, they'll help you out and stuff. But so they kind of just stayed there and did that. They did the Australia thing.
So the distribution in New Zealand is from Australia, then, I think.
No, it's from New Zealand. Like Andrew Morrison, he has the distribution company called IROM, which is Maury spelled backwards. Yeah. And he's really big. And then of course you've got Powell and Vans and all those guys. But now our new generation, there's probably Zedan Fellows. My little buddy, he's here in America right now practicing. He was going to go to Brazil, but, he's a vert skater. But unfortunately, he lives, 1,000 miles away from me, and he lives in a winter town. His parents are right into snowboarding, and he has a big vert ramp in his backyard, but he can only ride it 5 months a year. In the wintertime, he actually gets up and shovels the snow off it in the morning before he goes to school.
Wow.
Then, like, there's a window of opportunity between 3:30 and 4:10 where it's dry.
Wow.
And he'll skate it, you know. But I mean, you know, the guy can do a 10-foot air, you know, so he's got talent and skill. And then there's a couple of others, you know. One of them, unfortunately, he's just had a knee thing, Niwa. And Niwa's a great skater, big bag of tricks. And then just recently moved over from Australia to live with us. Another rolling skater. So now there's 3 guys that are good, you know, that are, you know, willing to start traveling, like, and stuff like that. Like Lewis Newman, lip trick master, just moved from Australia, now lives in New Zealand. So he's just gone, I think, to Argentina for a vert contest. He's gone to Europe right now. Zeden's here in America, and Knee was just doing a bit of knee rehab. But those are guys are, you know, our next generation.
Okay.
And hopefully, like, it'll be so cool to see them all, like, you know, make it in the real world, you know, because, I mean, the Australian guys can do it, you know, but they've got more facilities, and, you know, there's a couple of rad guys over there. So, yeah. But and then of course we got a full Grom Nation and a full girl crew and everything, but they're all pretty young and pretty new.
Well, the girl thing is definitely growing.
Yeah, it's awesome, eh?
Yeah,
so
man.
good.
It's and what they're doing now is like, I mean, hell, I probably could. They were back when I was skating. I couldn't beat them.
Yeah,
You know? They're doing so many tricks, and they're just killing it, and they're 11.
I know. That's
They're 11 or 12.
how good would it be to be flexible and weigh 20 kilos? You know, they were ripping. So that was great.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. No, I always watch the girls now.
Yeah.
You know, because all the videos always pop up on my feed.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, oh, who's this? I'm like, oh my gosh, another one. Where's she from? You know, it's like
last night I went and skated, I guess you guys call it Poods or whatever.
Yeah, Poods
or
Park.
Cardiff.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. Like, it was like the most, I mean, I'm currently slightly injured or dented, but oh my God, it was the best session. Like Peter Hewitt, Dave Swift, Owen Nieder, Nabs, you know, like.
Nabs was there.
Yeah, and 3 or 4 other guys, and then a couple of young guys just ruling. And then there was like 4 girls. There was one from France, one from Hawaii, and one from kind of Australia, I guess. And, you know, the girl Lily from Hawaii. Oh, big old lip slides all the way around the deep, you know, and I'm thinking, that's rad. And, you know, yeah, so.
Until you see her doing it 720 on the next wall.
Yeah. So it's just, but the point was, she was skating with power and authority.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was skating in a guy's session. You know, there was the 12-year-old girls, there was the 20-year-old guys who were, you know, going big and going hard. And then there was a full crew of 40, 50-year-olds. So it was good to see. Like, it was exciting, you know.
That's
atmospherically, they had the radio, you know, they had the team. And it was a nonstop session. Like, not an gnarly snake session, but if anyone fell, someone would drop in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, man, I missed that one.
Yeah, me too, man. I wish I could like, New Zealand rules, and I love where I live, but if I could just get a 6-pack of old pro skaters to move there,
yeah, right.
That would be the dream.
That'd just be fun.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of well, first of all, it's really hard to get to New Zealand.
Heard of a plane?
Well, yeah, but
he just doesn't want to do the long air.
I don't mind the 11 hours. I've been on airplanes for 24 hours going to Europe, man. When you have 4 layovers and there's ice and snow and everything else, and you're just like sitting in the airport like, oh God, you know, like another 4-hour layover because, you know, and then a 3-hour delay, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind that. It's just, well, I have a friend of mine who's trying to get over to New Zealand right now and live there, and he's having a really tough time.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, he's having a really tough time.
I mean, in New Zealand's like pretty user-friendly, and I think a lot of people want to move there. Yeah. So that actually makes it quite hard to move there. Yeah. You know, so, but that's cool. I mean, we've got less population than you guys do in San Diego. So, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the thing about it.
Hell of a rugby team.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a rugby team.
We like them guys.
Well, the nice thing is
they affect our economy when the All Blacks lose. That's a cool shot. Warped Tour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Worked with
Melbourne.
you and Stevie.
Yeah, me and Stevie doing doubles.
Yeah, that is really amazing. That's
Yeah.
you know. And where's that at again?
And we're both 49 there.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm like Stevie and I are about 9 months apart. So there's a 3-month window with the same age kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, that was in Melbourne actually. I think. Yeah, that was a few years back, and that's Mike McGill's skate park.
Yeah, that's the original.
Yeah,
that's the original skate park right there. Because look at this, you can still see the racetrack.
Yep.
Was right behind it.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That is.
I love that photo because it's pretty big here. And look at bloody Andrew Morrison in the background.
Okay,
ready to drop in already.
Okay,
yeah. He was over here on holiday and staying with us and visiting and stuff, and so we go skate with him all the time.
You know, that sure looks like a very young Danny Wade down at the bottom. Because that's a helmet that he wore when he's at McGill's office.
You know, it probably could be because that was the time that, he was a little. He was a Grom and the mini ramp ruler, you know.
Oh my God, he destroyed that mini ramp.
Yeah, like, him and Alfonso rolls, and then they just go like, ching, 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 360 backwards. Yeah, they loved that thing. But yeah, that was a fun ramp, though. It was a good ramp.
That was so much fun there.
There you go. That's one of my favorite tricks, the Hurricane.
Yeah. No, you do it as good as anybody.
Yeah, well, we've been doing it for about 35 years. Freaking hope so.
You should be good at it.
Yeah.
Now, these pictures were taken by Chris.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This is all in that one session.
Yeah.
I kind of went there with Mag and Chris, and they said, "Oh, let's take some shots." I never skated this ramp, and there was a sunset at like whatever it was, 5:15 or something. Yeah. And Chris said, "Oh, Brad, you got 9 minutes." And I'm all,
as much as you can in 9 minutes.
I think I made it through like about 6 or 7 tricks as far as we got in 9 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, toe slide.
Yeah,
that's a cool shot. I like that one. I haven't seen that one before.
That's a great shot.
Yeah,
concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other famous sad plant right there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Not bad for an old guy, that one.
Yeah. You're like 56 there.
Yeah.
Now, here's another. This is back home.
Yeah, that was me and my little buddy.
Yeah, you and your little buddy.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of free diving out front, and, obviously we get a lot of crayfish. So, yeah, we have guests over and friends, so every time that happens, like Steve Douglas came to visit me, and so we'll go for a swim and get crayfish, and we just swim off the beach in front of our house.
You call them crayfish or lobster?
Crayfish. We don't have claws.
Oh, okay.
So don't have claws. They have big feelers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean,
So how old is your son in this picture? How old is he there?
Probably like 18, 19.
So he went from there, and now he's living on the East Coast here.
Yeah, he lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
Well, he was wanted to turn pro at motocross.
Okay.
We have a big motocross track in our backyard, and we raced, all over everywhere. And he came to America and stuff. So he saved up money, and he was coming to America to race motocross. And funny thing, he actually got hurt skateboarding. Funny thing because he doesn't skateboard very well, and he broke his wrist and had to have like surgery on it and stuff. And then he kind of made it, kind of back to like the top little group in New Zealand, But he said it used to seize up, and he went to a hand surgeon, and they said, "Oh, okay, we could do surgery on it, but it will take a year." And he said, "Man, I just don't have it to take a year off and try and come back again." Motocross is gnarly. And, that's why I got a broken shoulder.
There's only 2 types of riders.
Yeah.
I started skateboarding.
Yeah.
I broke both my arms motocrossing.
Yeah. So then he actually, his next love is spearfishing. Like, he's an amazing free diver. He can hold his breath for, I think, like 6 minutes and 5 seconds. And he can dive to like 200 feet deep. So he shot like sailfish and tunas and so he did a lap. Yeah. So that's one of our kingfish that we shot out front.
Wow.
So, so he did a lap of the world spearfishing and met a girl. And then he moved to America and got married, and now he lives in North Carolina.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
That's my That's my awesome wife on our holiday in America. She got to see all the best sites: Tony Hawk's Ramp, the Combi Pool, Linda Vista. You know, so very romantic holiday that
I
one.
remember. I don't know. I think you were staying at Mag's at that point.
Yeah.
And I think when we talked about it at that time, and that's when I went and finally met her too. So yeah, she got a full skate. She got all the best places. And I'm sure she got her down to Pacific Beach too.
Oh yeah. Of course, we hit the water. We went swimming every day as we do at home and stuff. But yeah, my wife rules. She's been so good to me, you know, and you know, yeah, she supports all our contests, and we always have people staying at our house, and sometimes, you know, 30, 40, 50 of them and stuff. And
she puts up with it and tolerates it.
She promotes it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
So I think there's two things on this that you got to point out.
Yeah, this is actually my wedding invite.
Oh, this was?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because, sorry, this one is for the adults, no kids.
Yeah.
And the other one, naked volleyball at 2 a.m.
Yeah. So this was actually our wedding invite, even though it's not it doesn't say it's a wedding. So we had a wedding, and my wife and I built a bridge over our pool, and we got married on the bridge.
Oh, awesome.
So like everyone was coming to a barbecue and a skate session, and then we kind of stopped the party, and then we got married, and then we carried on.
That's cool.
Wow.
And then we had a belly flop contest, which was pretty cool. Like, and my wife still thinks she won, but she didn't really. She was just the favorite, you know. But it was so rad, you know. Like, I mean, I believe in happiness. Like, I love life, and my life was good, you know. And when I came to America, I was living the dream, you know. Like, pretty different from you guys, you know. You guys over here, like, I remember going to my sponsors and everything with Americans, and they were getting like 6 boards and 5 T-shirts and 4 sets of wheels, and the sponsor would say, "Oh, do you want anything, Dave?" And I'm all, "I'd really like a new board." And they go, "Here." I'd leave with one board, and I'm all, "How come you guys got all that shit? I got one board." You know? And so, you know, we were just excited and happy to be here, like literally. So, you know, if there's ever a prize for loving skateboarding and being really happy, I'd be up there, you know.
Okay.
But,
so what sponsor was this at that time that would do something like that?
Don't know. I mean, it was
Tony Mag?
probably, you know, back in the day. But yeah.
That's because, you know, it's always open to get a board.
Yeah, exactly.
And make you sign a PO.
But nah, people took care of us good, and I loved it, you know. And it was a window of life that is irrepeatable, and you know, if you live life over again, that's the window you wouldn't change.
Yeah.
You know? Probably would have taken it a bit more serious, maybe. But then that wouldn't have been me. So, but I mean, you know, we were just lucky. Like the window, the timing, and everything was good. I mean, I didn't come to be a pro skater. I came to skateboard Del Mar. I came to skateboard the parks, the ramps, you know, to skateboard with friends and people. And, you know, got lucky that, you know, I made it as a pro. But I mean, you know, but without that, it was just the love of skateboarding. And we just, you know, it was a good love because it ended up being a career or a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it was going to be a lifestyle regardless because, and, you know, today I still love it. And, you know, I'm still building ramps and, you know, and I'm still building skate parks for the kids and still teach kids, mentor kids. You know, I mentor a few kids for the Olympics and stuff and teach and train them. And, you know, but that's just because I love it, you know, and I'd love to see some of these guys like, you know.
And these are the kids that are coming up.
Yeah.
So, okay. For the Olympics,
no
that's
longer
awesome.
standing with one flag
That's
by yourself.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a great story to tell the kids. Like, when I had to do it and go through it,
Yeah.
you know.
I finished 6th as a nation.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys beat that.
Yeah. So I used to like we host a contest every year, and this is our old ramp. And I used to get artists from the school to paint it for us, you know. And my wife and I buy all the paint, and we'd paint the ramp blue, and then they would come and put, you know, things on like that. So every year the ramp, you know, had a different paint job on it, you know, which kind of created atmosphere, like, because the ramp, you know, looked like a piece of shit. You know, it's 20 years old. But you paint it, put that on it, like that ramp's ripping now, you know, and people loved it. And, you know, and it was also good to, like this actually went into somebody's art portfolio, and then they made it from, you know, high school through to college with, you know, a skate ramp portfolio.
So how big is this, 11 or 13 or?
This was the old ramp. This one was probably about 11 and a half, I guess.
So pretty much like Andy's ramp.
Yeah, maybe 11 and maybe 12. I mean, 22 years old, so yeah, somewhere around about there. 10 and a half.
22 years old.
Yeah, 10
Is
and
it
a half,
still there?
21.
Is it?
No, I took
Okay.
this down and I demoed. I built a whole skate park then.
Okay.
And then I demoed the entire park and we designed and built a new one in the same location.
Okay, well, this isn't okay. I thought this was your ramp.
No.
I mean, okay.
And
How old is this picture?
it's only probably 2 years old. Like the new skate park's only been there 8 months.
Yeah, good times there.
Yeah, yeah.
No doubt, man. All right. So let's see. What's that?
51.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can get into what you're doing now. For your livelihood, where you actually have to work and have fun at that job.
Yeah,
But-
well, moving to New Zealand was a bit of a reality check. Right after you leave the public eye in California, you stop getting royalty checks in the mail.
Right. Right.
And then you think, oh, man, I'm married with children and a mortgage. So, gotta get a job. But when I came to America, I actually did I guess you call it an apprenticeship in building. I worked, in La Jolla, actually building houses. And I went from, the guy that dug the ditches and carried all the stuff to, getting a hammer. And right up when I made it, I guess, to foreman or whatever. And we built a church, and some beautiful houses in Fairbanks Ranch and stuff.
Wow.
So I made it kind of up there. And that was the same time as I turned pro. And I kept asking my boss, oh, can I have like Friday off? Because I got to go to a contest. Oh, can I have like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off? I got to go to a contest. And he kind of gave me the ultimatum.
Yeah.
One or the other. And I'm like,
Yeah.
see ya. But then I built skateboard ramps, so I still could do a bit. And then, yes, I went back to my trade when I moved back to New Zealand and, obviously built my own house. And then I started a construction company. And, yeah, we build high-end architecture around the New Zealand coastline.
And do you ever talk to that old boss and show him what you do?
Unfortunately, he died, but
okay.
I did actually a lot, and he was pretty proud.
Awesome.
It was like,
I got him started, and look what he did.
Yeah. So
Amazing house.
yeah, it's a beautiful house. It's just around the corner from us, and we're standing on a private beach looking at it. Off to the right, there's a big cabana and stuff, and that driveway goes into the ocean. Because the owner's got like a sea legs boat, it's one of the boats with the amphibious wheels that come up and down. So they just drive right out of the water.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super cool. This one's just over the hill, like in Whangaroa Harbor. It's for a German family, and it's just a beautiful big house. I mean, that house is huge, but, you can't see half of it.
No, that's good. That's the way a nice house should be.
Yeah.
Can't see it.
Our home.
Yeah.
And this is your view. When you're in New Zealand every day,
Yeah, so at our house, we also have an underground house.
Yeah.
So we have a accommodation thing called Crab Cove. Because I used to travel a lot. And everywhere you go, you stay in a hotel. And, no matter where in the world you stayed, you kind of walked in the door, the bathroom was off to the right, the TV's in a box there. And I just thought, man, and every time I went home, I kind of appreciated where we lived and just thought, Frank, it's beautiful here. I want to share it with people, but I just don't want to do that hotel thing. So I built an underground house. And then and I put a sauna in it and, made it all kind of funky, a little bit Hunter Vassary, a little bit Dave Crabbish, a little bit kind of cool, And then right about then, Lord of the Rings came out. And then everyone thought I had a Lord of the Rings house. So all of a sudden I was really popular. And then I got great press for having an underground house, And it's right above our private beach. So it just looks at the water. So
is it inside the cliff or is it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's on top of the hill. Kind of just dug a big hole and built a house and then buried it. So,
okay.
But it's amazing. It doesn't get cold. It doesn't get hot.
Right.
It's really quite rad. And
How much of topsoil do you have from the roof to the topsoil?
there's probably about 400 mils. What's that, 16 inches or something? Yeah, because if you have it any less than that, it dries out, and then all the grass and everything on the roof dies.
Yeah.
So you have to have enough moisture in there to keep it alive. But I mean, it's awesome.
And that's a metal roof?
No, it's kind of it's a timber roof with a rubber membrane. Just kind of build a house, and then you just wrap it in waterproof rubber kind of thing.
Huh.
And then you bury it. And it's rad, and, it's kind of caters to honeymooners, anniversary couples, and it's basically booked out, every single night, or, we book it out. If we want to
It's
go
like an
for the weekend.
Airbnb in it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was its purpose. It's called Crab Cove.
Crab Cove.
Wow.
So when you got your own beach, you just name it. So I live at Crab Cove. Yeah. So it's super awesome. So, just keeps us out of trouble. And sometimes we have guests, and sometimes they skateboard, and then other times they come and watch us skate and stuff, you know. So yeah, it's kind of neat, and you know, you get to know people, and if they're cool, I always go for a dive and get them a crayfish or spear something, and you know, because people are from all around the world. And they're really interested in your world, you know, because they're from Holland or Denmark or, you know, Europe or whatever. And, you know, like our life is kind of different, like, you know, so we live in the great outdoors, you know, and people love it. And it is beautiful, you know, it literally is beautiful. So, so that's kind of our world down there. We have a construction company in Boo, but, you know, still skate a few contests every year. And of course, when the Manguai Bowl Jam comes up, you know, for like 3 months before, you start going down there every weekend, practicing. Then you just discover that you're old and everything hurts. But, you know, so that's where Maury and I skate a lot. And everyone comes up to skate the vert ramp. So, all right. Yeah,
so when is the next big contest for you guys?
February 4th is Manguai Bowl Jam.
Okay. And,
you know, basically it's a bowl, and they put bleachers around all 4 sides, and it's a packed house. Like, you know, it's 1,000, 1,500 people so the bowl is just like in a little baby amphitheater. And, you know, and yeah, when you get through to the finals of the Open, it's good. And, you know, Tanaya, she's a girl skater from Australia, you know, one of the best girl skaters in the world. She comes out, you know, and last time she won the girls event, and then she entered the men's event. Wow. Because so she made the finals, like she made the top 8, and I think she qualified like 5th. She got a pretty good backside ollie and a great feeble around the deep end, frontside 50-50 around the shallow end off the hip, you know, and stuff. So, yeah, she was like, the crowd was stoked. There was a girl in the final, in the men's open final. So that was cool, you know. So atmospherically, it's a big deal, and, you know, it has a full after party and everything. But it's New Zealand's like kind of Vans Combi Pool. It's kind of our version of that. Wow. So, you know, and there's the world's biggest skateboard, I think. For the New Zealand Olympic team, that was the opening day, and they actually made the world's biggest skateboard.
This is in New Zealand?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. So I think, was it Ryan Sheckler or somebody or someone that built one?
Yeah.
So this one's 6 inches bigger.
Oh, the one that's in Vista.
Yeah, that's in Vista.
Oh, okay. So this one's in a museum in New Zealand. So this one's 6 inches bigger than that one. 6 inches bigger than that one. Yeah, so this is supposedly the world's biggest skateboard. So Bowman Hansen and Matt Markland, you know, pro street skater from New Zealand. So they toured with this thing. It started off up by me, you know, so Bowman and I did the opening thing for it on TV and, you know, jumped up on it and stuff. And
so what they cut this on, an 18-wheeler?
Wow. No, unlike this, you know, purpose-built trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty gnarly because I think it's like 13 meters long, which is, you know, what's that, 39 feet or something?
Yeah, it's only almost 40
feet.
Yeah.
It's 40 feet.
Yeah, so wow. They were towing that around, you know, but they wouldn't let us ride it down a hill. I think it was because it was the first day, because I'm all, come on, man, let's take it to a hill and we'll jump on it. But they wouldn't let us do that. But yeah, so.
Well, if it's any.
So that was the promotion for skateboarding being in the Olympics.
Okay. So
they took this around New Zealand, you know.
Wow. Yeah, because the one that was here, what's the name of the guy that has it? It's at the California Training Facility.
Yeah.
And it shows him going down a hill.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw him, but he jumped off from his leg.
Yeah.
Well, you got the jackass scene.
Or maybe, yeah.
Yeah, well, I figured we were going to go to the top of the hill. We're going to start out.
That would have been fun, though, right?
Do a little one. Because there's no brakes, but this one, man, those guys started going down the hill, man, and they were
well, I guess once you guys going, like, it wasn't going to be light, you know?
Yeah, and then there's trees that they were like, oh, we'll go down this one, and all these trees, I'm like, okay, someone's going to die on that.
Yeah,
but
we was kind of thinking, well, New Zealand's like, you know, there's farms everywhere, and every farm, I mean, New Zealand's not flat either,
right.
So finding a hill was going to be no problem at all, but just letting us ride it, because, yeah, so, that's where that was, and, oh yeah, New Zealand has the world's biggest skateboard.
There it is.
That's awesome.
The biggest countries, the biggest skateboards.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the other way around. But
yeah, I know, you know.
Nah.
It's still fun to talk about. But anyway, okay, so what do you have anything you want to finish with and want to
pretty much, I just want to say thanks to anyone watching this. And, you know, I'm pretty stoked. I'm sitting here having a beer with Dave Andrick.
Having a beer, yeah.
Having another beer with Dave Andrick.
Having a beer.
I mean, I can't complain. Life is great. I love skateboarding. And, you know, if any of you guys, you know, ever have the opportunity to go to New Zealand, come skate with me. Look me up. I'd love to skate with you. I still love it. And, you know, hey, maybe I could help you learn a trick, or maybe I could have a session with you. But just pretty stoked to be visiting all my friends back here in America and to be hanging with my old friend Dave Andrick. And I appreciate you guys having me on board. You know, cheers, Skateboard Nation.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. I love it. Okay. And thank you to Hess Beer for supplying us and giving us beers.
Yeah, cheers to Hess.
Yeah. Cheers to Hess. And if you are watching on Facebook, or if you see it on Facebook, make sure you go to our link on YouTube and subscribe, like it. Come on, support Dave again. one of the best old skateboard guys that I ever had, and good friend.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Anyway, all right, thank you.